Hi Capricorn, thanks for tuning in. This is your reading for February 2020. Join me while I shuffle. Send your energy into the deck. Tune in with your higher self and your guides and ask them to connect with me so that I can pass along any messages that will help you at this time. Grab some headphones. Please don't multitask while you're listening to this reading. I want to make sure that you don't waste your time and miss any of the important messages that your guides have for you. So please bring all of your presence to the reading. And we're going to take a look at the general energies available at this time for you, Capricorn. Alright, let's take a look. High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. Nice. This feels really good, Capricorn. This is a really nice spread. So the first impressions I'm getting from these cards is that you've turned a corner recently. You've made a huge breakthrough in some kind of area of your life where you may have been feeling stuck for a little while, or where you may have been feeling like you can't understand what actually is really going on. You may have had some kind of revelation or clarity come to light recently that's helping you land in a place where you're feeling able to soon begin something new, and you have a feeling of freshness. There's definitely clarity in this reading. There's understanding and there's wisdom here as well. You have two aces plus the Magician, which is holding all of the aces actually. He's in the outcome position. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords is here. And you also have the Fool in the center of the reading in the upright position. So with the Judgment here in the recent past, all of these cards here are saying to me that you have recently turned a corner. You're coming out of a time, if not already, this is in the near future, in the time of this month when this reading is for. You are coming out of a time of darkness and turning a corner into an area of life now where you're feeling renewed. There's a sense of renewal in this reading. There's a sense of clarity. There's a sense also of having overcome some confusion and doubt and feeling really empowered and a growing sense of trust in life, that you will always kind of find your way, and that this point of time right now is actually a moment where things are feeling like they're coming together after a long period of doubt and uncertainty. So that feels really beautiful. That's just my first snapshot take on this reading, of this energy of this reading. So let's go into each of the quadrants and tune in a little deeper. We'll start here at the heart because we have the Fool, as I said, in the upright position, and it's crossed by the Four of Swords. This way. Yeah, the Four of Swords is the crossing card here, but it's in the reverse position, and that's telling me that along with the Judgment in the recent past and the Ace of Swords, the general energy of this reading is kind of repeated throughout each corner of the reading and each card of the reading. So with the Fool here and the Four of Swords crossing in the reverse, that's kind of telling me that you have woken up. You may have come out of a time where things felt a little dark and a little somber. You may be feeling like, again, this energy of revelation or understanding or a flash of insight that's creating a feeling of renewal or understanding or something fresh, a sensation of being able to move forward into the next cycle that you're beginning now. This is definitely new beginnings here with the two aces and the Fool and the Magician. This is definitely a new beginning energy in this reading. There's a turning over corner. And so with the Four of Swords there as in the reverse as a crossing card, that's this feeling of kind of waking up, of kind of coming out of a time of either stagnancy or uncertainty, or coming out of a time where you maybe have felt like there is factors at play that you don't understand, that you can't see, that may have been creating confusion. Now what I feel in this reading is that you are kind of waking up to a sense of power that you have, that you may have kind of known sort of intellectually before, but this is telling me that in this reading that you are kind of feeling it more viscerally. I get this sense of you having an understanding much better than you ever have before of just how much of a creator you are, how powerful you are, and what stands before you is in your imagination, right? Like there's energy in this reading of you really channeling the imagination into the manifest physical world. So in this quadrant here, which is how you see yourself right now, you have 2 sevens. I like this a lot. 7 of Cups and 7 of Pentacles, both upright. This is telling me exactly what I just said. You're channeling fantasy and imagination, but in a really grounded way, into the physical world to create what it is you want. And that literally is anything for all of you watching. Is going to be completely different. But this seven of Cups can be sometimes a little bit of a feeling of fantasy and delusion. But how I'm seeing it in this reading, given the context of all the other cards here, this is much more about you being in real alignment with your imagination and tapping into the realms of spirit and creativity and making choices that you feel will benefit you for the long game. Because the 7 of Pentacles here is about resources, it's about patience, it's about investment as well. There could be for some of you some investment in real estate here, or some kind of home project like decorating or whatever. I don't really feel like I need to go into specifics. For everyone it's different, but there's definitely in this quadrant a feeling of hopefulness that you have at the moment, where there's maybe more than ever before, you feel confident in your own creative abilities, in your own practice of visualization, and you're allowing yourself the space to explore that with confidence, knowing that whatever you choose to do and how you choose to do it, with patience and with practicality and with consistency. That's what the 7 of Pentacles is about, like he's tilling the soil every day, he's in the garden every day. So with that kind of consistency and patience and deliberateness, like deliberate consistent activity on a regular basis, daily basis, you will achieve your goals without a doubt. Now in this quadrant, which is your environment, 8 of Cups reversed with the 6 of Pentacles reversed. So for some of you, what I feel here is that there's a couple of different messages I'm getting. For some of you, this is talking about a desire that you may have to leave your current employment in pursuit of your own endeavors, in pursuit of your own creative passions. And it's not for me. I don't feel like it's for me to say right now if you should or shouldn't. That's not a decision that I should make. No reader should tell you those kind of things. But for some of you, I feel like there's a need here for you to be a little bit cautious and maybe not impractical about what's next, in this understanding you have about the current energy you're dealing with and the feelings that you're expressing or experiencing within, in regards to feeling like a new beginning ahead of you. Just to be practical about not kind of ending a sustainable, or what's the right word, a consistent flow of income to you, even if it's something you don't really want to be doing, until you actually feel more like you've established something that you can know will provide for you, right? So a little bit of contradiction there, and it's a little bit of fantasy versus reality. But I don't feel any dissonance in those messages. I think it's important to understand that you can have all the revelation and clarity that you've received and still know that even though you're aware that what you're doing is not right for you, and you may not be enjoying it and you may not feel happy or comfortable in that environment, you still need some time to strategize, to prepare, to plan, to put into action the ideas and concepts in a practical way in the physical world, in order to turn around those imaginations and creative ideas into physical wealth that will actually sustain you. So there's a little bit of a timeline going on here where, yes, you've understood that you are ready to break free of some kind of situations that maybe don't feel like a total alignment for you. And there is a feeling of wanting to move swiftly and act upon the impulses and act upon the clarity that you have. But there's also some practical need to just be patient and plan and prepare ahead and set yourself some goals, but not just setting goals and hoping that things will work out. You have to actually apply practical action to those goals to make the thing happen. And this Queen of Swords in reverse at the foundation here, I feel, is a little word to some of that, what I just spoke on. The fact that it's in the middle of these two quadrants here, right? Like, she's talking about discernment. The fact that she's in this reading in reverse is in the unconscious mind is telling me that the clarity is there, but you need to be grounded in the reality of the situation of how energy needs to physically play out in this realm to actualize your dreams. But the clarity is definitely there. I'm not suggesting that you dampen your own excitement at this time. No, it's about channeling that excitement and pushing forward with it, and at the same time being discerning about the practical matters that you need to deal with every day. Now, the only area of the reading I haven't really touched on yet is this outcome area. Magician upright with Emperor in reversed. So, same feeling of it been speaking over and over about in this reading is this energy of a new beginning, of a passionate, excited, inspired energy of like imagination and new beginnings and things that you know you can do, things that you know you're able to channel through you and bring into the physical manifest world. And I feel with the Emperor in reverse here, along with this Queen of Swords in reverse, it's still touching on the energy of practicality and discernment for me, needing to remind you that you have all the insight and the wisdom and the imagination and the inspiration that you need, but perhaps what's required for you around this time is more grounded stability and practicality about how to execute those plans and those visions, so that you don't necessarily, that you don't crash and burn, or that you don't miss an opportunity, or that you don't, end something before the time is right, something like that. Because you need to figure out how to make something stable. Because right now you have all this energy swirling around, and channeling it in and through you is a task, and grounding it into physical reality is a special skill. And I feel you're, as a Capricorn energy, with that very earthy, very grounded, very practical, very hardworking archetype that you have this in you. But I just feel like with the Emperor there reverse, and also this Four of Swords in the middle of the reading, there's something there about needing to really ground the energy in and be practical about it. For some of you, this Emperor in reverse here could be a person. I kind of feel that with this energy of this quadrant, the Six of Pentacles reversed, Eight of Cups reversed, and the Emperor reversed. We could be looking here for some of you about this could be a boss, maybe someone that you kind of someone that you work with right now, maybe not a boss, but a peer, or someone that's in your environment in the workplace. Maybe you want to get away from them. Maybe you don't feel comfortable. Maybe this person is a little bit overly pushy or demanding at work, and you want to get away from them. That could be something in this reading I could see. But again, I feel there's a need to remind you to just be patient and practical and strategize ahead, so that you have like a timeline mapped out. Like, for example, if you're wanting to start your own business, which is what I see here for some of you, maybe you need to like look at your savings, look at how many more months maybe you would need to stay working in that job, so that you could give yourself 6 to 12 months of not having any income, so that you could launch your business, for example. It's something like that. While the energy's there and there is this swiftness coming in of clarity and understanding, there's still a need here, I feel, to be a little bit like temper that energy, slow it down a little bit, slow down your impulsiveness, and be really practical and strategic about how you map out this next little while. Bottom of the deck, High Priestess, King of Swords reversed, the Sun, and Five of Swords reversed. There's also Five of Cups here. High Priestess and King of Swords are reiterating for me very clearly that this is a super important time to be extremely discerning and make decisions out of wisdom and clarity, not from impulse, not from hastiness or impatience, not from, disregard for practical matters. This is about a really practical, action-based plan that you need to set in place to actualize your insight that you've received recently. The Sun is illuminating this reading with, positivity and vitality and life force. So it's kind of like a green light energy I'm feeling from the Sun. But these two fives here coming out, there's also the Seven of Swords here. Okay, so what I feel for that is this is a special message for some of you, not for everyone, but I feel maybe some of you, whatever this judgment and this revelation that you came through recently, if you've come out of a time that's been a little dark and you felt unsure and a little confused and, you know, even maybe depressed or anxious because you couldn't really see a way through your circumstances. For some of you, these 2 5s and this 7 here is kind of saying to me that perhaps some of the energy of revelation and clarity that you've received has been around realizing that maybe someone that you've been close and trusted maybe was not being honest or truthful with you and has maybe been taking advantage of you or has maybe in some way betrayed you. And then these 2 5s here are saying there's loss and disappointment around that. There's kind of maybe some grief or defeatedness or something along those lines with regards to the way maybe a specific individual, and it could be this King of Swords or this Emperor. It could be either of these characters here. Someone in your life who maybe has been like a strong masculine character, but maybe in recent times you might have started to feel like their energy is not really resonant with you, and maybe there's been a slow awakening over recent time of behavior that is inappropriate for you or that you don't accept or that you can't tolerate, right? And so you're part of this opening up here to a new beginning is realizing that this person needs to go. Right? So there is a little bit of grief with that, but it's also a celebration because you have this revelation and insight about your own energy and your goals, your visions, your imagination, your pursuits, and the capacity that you know that you have to really bring these things into the physical world. So I feel that's it for this reading. I'm just going to check it over. I really like the energy of this spread. I was a little surprised to see these 3 cards come out, to be honest, but I guess that for some of you that helps you to understand just how powerful this time is, and it could help you also heal and overcome the energy of this betrayal here, knowing that you can allow the situation to liberate you, or you can allow it to fester if you kind of continue to mourn and grieve over something that's lost. But the energy of this reading is saying celebrate a victory, celebrate a shift, even if there's a moment of sadness and loss with that. Like, feel those feelings, but don't let it go on for too long, because there's fresh energy here that needs to be accessed by you. And if you spend too long in the sadness and in the grief and in the mourning and in the loss for too long, it's going to be really hard to get into this energy that's really here and really right now waiting for you to access. So that's it for the general. I'm going to take the Voyager deck now. We're going to do another holographic mandala spread for the higher octave reading. It's designed to provide a little more insight into the forces at play, any karmic and spiritual factors or energies that may be influencing the situation. Your guides also will hopefully provide some practical insight into how best to work with the energies and how to move forward in a day-to-day, really practical way. And also, if there's any blind spots that still need to be revealed and illuminated, we ask for those to be shown as well. So make sure you're sending your energy into the deck so I can get really clear messages for you. 7 of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. It's the same card here. 8 of Swords in reverse, that's 8 of Crystals. We had that as well, I think, in this reading. No, we had 7 and 9. Man of Wands in reverse, that's the King of Wands. 4 of Crystals, it's the same card that we had here at the center of the reading. It's in reverse. 5 of Wands in reverse. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. 3 of Pentacles. The Fool. 6 of Wands. 8 of Cups. 9 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands, Death, and Temperance. So there's quite a few repeating cards in the spread. What I feel from this layout, from these cards, is it's a little bit more of the energy that I was tapping into at the last part of the previous reading, where I feel there's a little bit of grief in this spread, there's a bit of sadness, there's a feeling of, disappointment with the 2 5s in here. Like, We have the Fool here with the Temperance and the Six of Wands with the Death card here. So clearly there's some kind of ending that's going on here. And for some of you, if that ending has something to do with some kind of betrayal or disappointment, theft, even conceitedness, maybe there's been an individual in your life for some time that's been close with you and someone that's been trusted, and maybe you have recently discovered some kind of behavior that's made you feel a loss of trust in that person, then these 4 cards are describing some kind of massive shift or transition that's happening where you are now starting at a new beginning. And the Temperance card here with the Fool is kind of touching back on that point I also spoke on earlier, where it's really important here to certainly feel the feelings of loss and disappointment and even grief and that kind of stuff. If that's there, honor it, feel it. I'm not trying to make you or trying to suggest that you brush past it and just get on with being like in this new cycle that you're in. You certainly need to honor your emotions and find a way to express them safely. But it does say here that there, like I said, there's this energy that's waiting to be expressed by you, and there's a slight caution here that if you let yourself spiral into this into like a real deep darkness where you maybe go too far into sort of feeling bad or feeling like a victim in the circumstance, then it may take longer for you to actually get access to this energy and channel it into the thing that is really like so available. Actually, there's a lot of energy that's like right there for something new and a fresh beginning that feels very light and super exciting and very I don't know how to describe that, desirable, like it's what you really want is really close by. So take the time you need to process the emotional energy, but don't swirl around in it for too long such that you miss out on this opportunity that's here. So definitely in this reading, I feel more of this kind of energy of changes in the family home, perhaps like maybe a breakup or some kind of, again, a revelation about a partnership, some energy or behavior in your partnership that you discovered that may now feel really ugly or painful and difficult to deal with. But the energy of it is that it's providing a liberation and it's helping to kind of shine a light on the energy of individuals who maybe aren't deserving of your trust or aren't deserving or worthy of a place in your safe environment that you've created, of the world that you've built. With this Man of Wands as the crossing card in the reading, this is the King of Wands, and it's in reverse. And in this deck, this card is called Actor, and I always feel when I see this card in reverse that the person that we're dealing with is, again, conceited or dishonest or distruthful or not worthy of trust. We could be dealing with someone that's two-faced, that has lied, that has, someone that's like exhibiting certain behavior with you and then behind your back doing something else. It's something along those lines. And it's crossing over the Eight of Crystals in reverse. So that's telling me that there is this kind of blindfold off energy with that, where the truth is being revealed in a way that may hurt. There's the Five of Wands here. But the truth will set you free, and knowing the reality of the situation, while that might be painful, is actually can be very empowering for you if you use that energy to make decisions that are radically based on your well-being and your comfort and safety, and if you have children as well, right? Like putting you and yours first and squeezing out people who aren't worthy of the amount of love and care and compassion that you can provide. So some changes in the family home, in the family environment, I feel in this reading. But coming with that is this fresh beginning and an awakening to the fact that this is a closure of a big cycle, and you can move forward from here with a sense of confidence that you could, one thing you could really take out of this situation is that your guides are really looking out for you, and there's a lot of energy in the unseen world that's very much supporting and orchestrating for you and helping you like move on into the correct places with the people and in the environments that are about much better match for you energetically with all the growth that you've been putting in. So as I said, there's the Seven of Pentacles in this reading again, so the second time, and now here's the Emperor again in reverse in your reading. Sage of Pentacles and Sage of Crystals. I love this. This is a reiteration of what I've been saying pretty much the whole reading. Like, you're at the point now where you've had a revelation. There's a deep understanding or awareness growing in you of something that has come to light that can make you realize that you are empowered to make choices that are for your best, in your best interest, with your own personal, I'm hearing dignity. But I feel like there's two sage cards coming out here, both upright, are saying like, while this may be challenging and difficult, you are growing in so much wisdom and so much awareness at the moment. And that's the place where you need to make decisions from, as with the High Priestess, using clarity and discernment and wisdom to make decisions from here based on what's right for you, and eliminating people who are manipulative or people who've been trying to use you or have been using you. You know, this Emperor reverse coming out twice, I feel like is really speaking about an individual for some of you, a particular person. Same card, both in the reverse position. So someone's been dealing here with a person who's maybe a little bit unstable, even like could be mentally unstable, could be financially unstable. Someone who like should be taking care of you perhaps, but has you been taking care of them. That's what I feel in this reading. You've given a lot of time and energy to this person, and they may not actually have been like able to support you back in the same ways. I do feel for some people there could be like either a misdiagnosis or an undiagnosis of some type of disorder here with this person. And that could be the challenge for some of you, is like you have a lot of compassion and care and understanding and love for this person, but I feel like you may not have the resources to care for them actually. For some of you, the person you're dealing with might actually really need professional help, and they may not be getting it. That's why it could have been an unstable time. So what else is here? You have 10 of Pentacles here in the outcome with the 9 of Wands. It's kind of reminding me again from the previous reading, this sort of feeling of having been so enduring for such a long time in difficult circumstances. That endurance is still carrying over now into the time here where you feel like there is some relief from a lot of pressure and uncertainty that you might have been feeling for quite some time. There's a kind of break in the stagnancy with some shifts occurring, which, you know, things might feel a little bit more difficult before they feel easier. I know I'm painting this as this very beautiful new beginning, and it is. There's a lot of fresh energy here. But for some of you, if there's some changes in the home environment, you might find that you actually need to move house, or there's some instability or transitional energy, you know, while things shift and move here before they land into a really stable and grounded place. But I feel you have the perseverance, you have the discipline, you have the dedication, you have the tenacity to see this transition through. And I feel really confident that you're going to find yourself in the next couple of months in a really, really good place with new, fresh energy, maybe new people around you, some of you starting a new business or a new job, maybe a new partnership. But for now, I feel like with partnership, I feel like there's a little bit of spaciousness that would be really beneficial. But at this time, there's like, while there has this been revelation and revealing energy of truth being exposed, I feel like you might do well to just give yourself a little bit of time to really integrate all the things that you have been experiencing over the last maybe even 2 years, and just give yourself a little time to heal and come to like a really stable, strong, grounded place. And I feel that that's it for your reading, Capricorn. Big changes here. Thank you so much for watching. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. I hope you found some things in there that you can work with. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.